Alright, bit of a different one today. Taking a look at a practice session in Zandvoort ahead of a league race. League race has been and gone, but this was a recorded session that I did just a couple of days before the race. I needed to catch a guy who was ahead of me by about a second, I think, in the times that I was looking at in the qualifying server. So I needed to jump out a second. It was at this point where I realised that I didn't have any apps up and no one could be able to see the times. So hunting down a 121. I don't really care if it's 121.9, maybe even like a low 122. Just hunting that down. So first two laps don't really count because I was messing around with the settings. So this is sort of our first flying lap, you would call it. As we come through turn 1 for the first time, braking back at the 100 board there, up third, then down to second. Want to cut across that little apex there, and then left foot braking into the first hairpin, turn 3 I think it is. Nice sideways out in the exit. Coming up the hill, this is all still the same to this day, and then this is about where the track differs. So this is the 1973 version as well, so not the, even though I'm driving the 1970s car, we raced the 1973 version, and it's quite a lot harder because there's a asshole of a chicane in the back of the lap, and it's very, very difficult, as well as the sand curbs, the whole lot of it. Those curbs on the left, so high, they'll just spin you out. But coming up to the chicane for the first time, drop it down from 4th to 2nd. And you want to sort of get on the throttle as soon as you can and aim out for the edge of that curb there. You do not want to touch it, it will spin you around. Through the last corner for the first time, and on our way down to the start finish line, same as still not done, that curve on the left there will spin you out as well. So it's quite a tricky lap. I found it hard to go fast. So this is the whole idea behind this, was a bit of practice. But cross first lap, 123.7, so not that formidable. But we'll have another crack coming through the hairpin. Little lag on the throttle there, not what you really want. That's, you want to get on the throttle as soon as you can. A bit nicer through the second kink there, and the hairpin, you just want to run nice and tight early, and then it will spit you out to the right side of the track there. It's not too bad. Up to third gear, and then up shifting up to fourth. You want to sort of run long into that corner so you can get a nice exit for this one, which will then shoot you into this little long right-hander, third gear through there. Trying to avoid that sand on the left there, that will also spin you out, coming through that bit of curb on the left there, same one on the right. This corner is very tricky. You want to just ease off the throttle, turn in as hard as you can, and then at the 100 board there, braking from the 4th down to 2nd once again. Not a bad exit through the chicane for the second time around. How do we take the last corner? Oh, nice bit of sideways action. So rear brake bias was doing that to me quite a lot, but if I ran it too far forward, it would lock up fronts pretty much every lap. So you got to give some and you got to take some, and that was my balance. That's where I could find it. So 122.5. So that's quite a good lap. I think that pretty much matches my best time as it was, but I knew I had some more time in my pocket. I needed to extract it. So this was just a really long qualifying session. I just pretty much went hell for leather everywhere. But we'll jump forward. So here we are on lap 7, about to start lap 8, quite a little bit ahead. Sort of was around that 123 mark on both the laps previous. Nothing special. Just having a lot of moments into the chicane, especially really struggling with that corner. Hairpin, this first hairpin I started to get down quite well. As you see, nice and straightforward on the throttle there. No lagging, no blipping. Just bang on the throttle as soon as I'm around the corner, which is exactly what you want to do. Running tight, and then, just a bit of curb there, so I had to get off the throttle. But if you get that corner right, sort of on a late apex it, and it will shoot you off to the side curb, and you get a nice run up the hill here. You touch any of those curbs there, even though I didn't, I got a bit of moment there. If you touch any of those curves coming up the hill, you will spin. But adding the sand there again. but we'll come on the back half of the lap, down the back half of the lap, towards the chicane once more, see what we can do. Nice through that right-hander, braking a little bit later into the chicane and just locking up a little bit as a result of it. I knew that I could get in there nice and late. It was just a matter of doing it every lap. As I said, brake bias rearward really made me struggle quite a lot. But it was the balance. It was the balance. Running nice and wide out to the last curb on the left there. Don't want to touch that. It will spin you, as every other curb on this lap does. But crossing the line with the lap time of a 1:23.0, so not a bad lap. Took me a few laps to get there, but I just want to be around that pace every single lap. I think 1:23.0 needs to be my race pace. That needs to be my every lap. But skip forward to what are we? Finishing lap 10, start of lap 11, crossing the line with a time of 1:23.8. So not a great lap, but still all right, still around that 1:23 mark everywhere, which is what I want. Nice consistency. Bit deep into the first corner there, but that's okay. You can sort of straight line it back, make yourself a bit of time up through the kink here. But I have spun, so I think my tyres are dying to death here. So fast forward to lap 12. So next lap, completed that lap, and starting lap 12 into the hairpin once again. Going nice and deep once more for good measure. But yeah, it doesn't really hurt, I don't think. I don't think I lose the most time going deep into that hairpin compared to other places. Taking a couple of stabs at the throttle there through the kink, not what you want to do. You really want to be nice and easy on the throttle everywhere. As quick as you can get on the throttle everywhere. But come up the hill, close as you can to that curb. Same with this one, and hug it all the way around to the right so you can get yourself a nice exit out here. And then dropping it down to third. You want to get that nice early turn in, and then just clip the hill here and put the corner on the hill there, and that is the line that you really want to be taking. Flat through this, and then, just getting on dirt a little bit. That you will upset the car completely. Braking into the chicane, sort of straight lining it into the apex that time. It was a little bit nicer, I feel. A nice little sideways action on the exit, but just clipping that curb, not really what you want to do. So I feel like there was a couple of attempts in that lap specifically. Don't know what time it is yet, but come out to the left side. Very nice and close to that curb, what you want to be doing. Come up to the line, felt like a pretty decent lap, albeit just minor mistakes. And it's time of a 1:23.0. So again, not really hitting that 1:22.5 that I've done in lap 4, but the consistency is there. Just need to reel in those mistakes. So took a break and came back in with a little bit of a different mindset. Just sort of fresh tyres. I feel like my consistency was there towards the end of that stint. It was pretty much all my laps were in the 1:23s. Majority in the low 23s, but I really need to bring them down to that 22.9s, So first lap out, coming in to the hairpin, fresh tyres. Again, going a little bit deep, but doesn't hurt. I can get on the power nice and early and stay on the power up until this right-hander here. Nice little bit of sideways action through there as well. Nice and tight through the second hairpin. Run it out wide to that curb on the right there. Perfectly done. Up to third. And then fourth, and wrap yourself around this corner and then flick into the right. Not touching that curb, not even getting anywhere near it. And then sort of want to be aiming for that second curb on the left. Bit deep into the hill, but that's fine. Carry more speed into the chicane part of the lap now, so clipping that curb there for good measure, nice and close to that one. Turn in late, let the car settle, and then braking for the chicane down a second. Nice through the chicane that lap. Just needed to get on the throttle a little bit earlier, and I feel like I could have shaved off another couple of tenths there. So third gear through the last corner, running out wide to that curb on the left. Haven't touched it yet, so it's good news for the race ahead. But I definitely lost a lot of laps there in practice. So crossing the line with a lap of a 1:22.5. So back in that 1:22.5 territory, which is where I want to be every single lap. But fast forwarding to the next lap, cross the line again, another 1:22.5. So consistency's there. And then again, the next lap, crossed it with a 1:23.0. So that's really low consistency. That's that lap time's really low, and if I could do that every lap, it was a good thing. But next day, I put some more apps on. I also, refreshed Mind State, and I've also added a ghost car with a second buffer, so that I had something to sort of chase, and I knew that if I could get anywhere near it, it meant that I was gaining. It meant that I was making time. So fresh mindset, new day. See what time we can put in. And it's also not super distracting when it's far away. I feel like when you're really catching it all the time, it's mega distracting. But getting on the curb there, so not off to a good start already, but not too bad through the hairpin. You don't want to take that high line like they do in modern day F1, because you need a hell of a lot of downforce for it to really slingshot you around. If you're in lower downforce cars, clipping that one as well, you want the lower line. The lower line is it's the racing line for these cars. But coming through the back half of the lap, haven't gained on that car at all, and it's second. If anything, I've lost time, so it's definitely not that good of a lap first run out, but that's okay. This is not a great lap, but we'll see what we close out the time with a fresh day. Nice through the chicane there, nearly clipping that curb. It's still saying it's a 1:22.6, so that gives me optimism, knowing that I made a lot of mistakes and I can make a lot of time given that. So estimated time of 1:22.7. Come up to the line, see what we actually get, and it is a 1:22.7. So not actually a bad lap considering, but I know I can go faster. So let's fast forward to when I do. So here we are on lap 5, coming up start lap 5. I had a couple of shockers, but this one was a good one. So we go nice and deep into the hairpin. I think I'm definitely starting to prefer that line. I'm not so turning in so harshly. It's not scrubbing tyres. It's just letting the car do its thing, letting the car settle, and then getting back on the power. Into the hairpin, already a 10th up on my best lap. Coming out of the hairpin, 2/10 up. You can always miss shift gears coming out of the hairpin. I found that was quite an annoyance, missing clutch or whatnot. But coming up through here, 4th gear, lovely through there. Got that line completely right. Nice and early on the power here. Just giving that curb a little bit of a clip, touching the sand a little bit, so it slowed me down a touch. So I've still got more time in the bank. But come through that right-hander and the second one towards the chicane. Very nice through there, a lot of time gained, and braking late into the chicane and not locking up a single bit. Nice on the second turn into, straight on the power, no guessing, no stabbing. And what can we do with the last corner? 3rd gear, little touch of oversteer, but not too bad. Nice and safe in 3rd gear. So we'll run it up to the line. We've definitely gained on the ghost in front. Can we get that 1:22.1 that it's saying? It's looking like it's going to be. And crossing the line with a 1:22.113. So finally getting that low 1:22 that I was after. And it took me a long time. This is both sessions were about a half an hour practice that I did, and then this one was just the 5 laps, and then I abandoned it. But so that might be a little fun video just ahead of the league race. I tried to race the AI around here and couldn't do it, so just figured I'd put out a little qualifying session in the meantime. But hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the next one.